We learned how to dig through trash when we were kids because we were homeless a lot with my mom. My mom was an alcoholic and she was addicted to speed. She would do speed at night and alcohol during the day to kind of bring her down and to sleep. She would have a lot of parties at the house, a lot of different people coming in and out. My sister and I eventually just became kind of like objects. We were passed around between my mom and the other people there. We weren't allowed to say no, so somehow, I honestly don't even know how, but somehow I just got the courage to run away and say no that way. I'd been picked up by police so many times. I couldn't even tell you how many times. I would bounce around from friends' homes and the police would find me and then send me back home. I remember one police officer even saying, "You're an incorrigible child, you need to be home with your mom." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And at that time, I actually had red marks on my neck because my mom had wrapped the phone cord around my neck when I tried to call the police. And when I got home, my mom was baking cookies and fake crying, and my daughter ran away, and just so manipulative. Once my mom severed her rights, she didn't keep in contact with me, and I didn't have any contact with my little sister. And so I became a ward of the court. So they placed me in a temporary orphanage, and then they put me in Olive Crest, which is a group home. So they determined I was eligible to be adopted, and that was my biggest goal, was I just wanted a family. While in the group homes, I met different families. In fact, amazing woman who was a single woman, beautiful family, huge Italian family, and moved in with her, said goodbye to the group home. Paperwork was being signed, and one day on my way home from school, her father had picked me up, and the routine would be I would go work at a store that her sister owned, at a cafe. We passed the store, and he ended up taking me right back to the group home where all my stuff was packed. And the woman had decided she didn't want to adopt, and they left. My biggest transformation started from there. It was a Christian group home, and at the time I wasn't a Christian. Wanted nothing to do with God, honestly. And they sent me to Hume Lake for one of my first trips. The second night in, the pastor was talking about rejection and how deep it is, and he quoted Psalm 27:10, "Though my father and mother abandoned me, the Lord will hold me close." And I thought he was looking right at me when he said it in a room of like 500 teenagers. And so that night, when I was 13, I gave my life to the Lord. I'm really excited about being on the board of Another Journey. Just knowing that there's something that I didn't see growing up in the group homes. We didn't have anywhere to go after that. And so I still keep in contact with the girls that were my roommates then. And every single one of us either moved in with a boyfriend or moved back in with family because there was nowhere else for us to go. And those old behaviors, old patterns, things that we worked so hard in counseling to overcome, when you're back in that environment, you go back to those behaviors. Being part of this is huge. It's so exciting and it's so encouraging, and I can't wait to start meeting the people that are transitioning into adulthood who probably are very similar to me, don't really know what you want to do. You just kind of survived, and that was the goal of the day, was to survive, but to realize there's so much more potential in that. And finding those untapped goals and dreams that they don't even realize they have is huge. So just knowing that they have a safe place to go to where they don't have to take care of someone or enable a behavior or do something for trade, to have a place to live, is just amazing. So I'm really excited about that. It's well overdue. We definitely need it, especially out here. So I didn't get adopted. Not by people, but by God. Yeah. Definitely adopted there.